From the Philippines, Dubai, and Singapore, we partner Japanese Bismark! Good evening, Africa. You guys having a good time? So what did you learn today? Belief. You know, belief is a dangerous thing. It is. Belief, if you look it up in the dictionary, it actually means the acceptance of something that is true. It can also mean the acceptance of something that exists. That's what it means in the dictionary. But when we speak of belief, it's very much misunderstood. And belief, like I was just saying, it's a very dangerous thing because most of us tend to believe on something based upon what we know as true. There was a time there when you were a kid, you believed that you cannot walk. Based on what? You cannot walk. It's an actual experience that you're having at that particular time. And it's a very powerful experience. You cannot walk. And that is an acceptance of what? Truth. At that particular time. And that's what your belief is. Imagine if you didn't have parents pushing you that no, you can walk. Human being can walk. And because of that, you started to give up the first belief you had that you cannot walk, and you start believing again into a new, more evolved belief that, hey, I can walk. Because they can walk. Everyone is walking. And because of that belief, we start the process of walking. Belief, like I said, is a dangerous thing because you could believe on something that's totally wrong. In fact, so many people in the past has believed in a particular thing. They were brought up in a particular race, a particular set of ideas, and they moved in that particular direction based on that particular belief. You are today because of your previous beliefs. That's what's making you up today. You are a composition of so many different beliefs. I'm not talking about religion. I'm just talking about what you think or what you accept as factual. You understand? Now, there's a need for us to change that if we want to be successful. When I was growing up, I grew up in a seminary, like a monastery school. And in a monastery school, very much it's anti-materialism, meaning we lived there with I had just one short shirt, no watch, no money, living a very simple life. It's a monastery. And very much, I started believing, thinking that money is bad. You heard that money is the root cause of all evil. So I was growing up thinking, hey, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that rich person. I don't want to have money, because money is evil. So I started thinking in those terms. Now when I started having a family, I started realizing, hey, I need to put food on the table. Right? I need to earn money, which I very much dread touching. Not only that it's dirty, but like it takes your soul away. But see, the problem is I had all of that thoughts going on in me, and I was not even aware of it. Is it possible that you could be thinking of something totally diametrically opposed to what you want to be today, and you're not aware of it? Every day we wake up, we're thinking of something, because belief system is very much something that's cemented in us. In fact, it is said that once you have accepted something to be truth, right? In the beginning, there must be acceptance first. Accept first, meaning believe first before you prove it wrong. That would be the best approach. I had to start challenging a lot of those beliefs that I have, because it is opposed to what I want to have, what I want to be. I started wanting money. There was a need for me to have it. So I had to rethink about what I had. So I started a process 10 years ago when I met the famous partner we have. He started challenging all those belief systems I kind of like had. And in fact, it was very scary. It was a scary process because, your belief is something so precious to you. It makes you. It is like your embodiment. And that's why, in fact, you don't want anybody challenging it. You get very itchy, angry, when you're hearing something totally opposed to what you believe. You feel very uncomfortable. It is a very uncomfortable situation to find out that your belief is being challenged, meaning, hey, there's more to it than what you know. We don't want to hear this. People are not open to that because it means what? What does it mean? It means change. It means change. It means I have to change, which is very difficult. So my first line of defenses was I started challenging, say, hey, wait a minute. This is against my religion. Wait a minute. This is against what I was taught. You start, like reinforcing, defending what you thought was it. You have to challenge it. Because belief is it's an evolutionary process. Just like what I was telling you in the beginning, we once believed that we cannot walk. And it's actually based on facts. It is actually true. There was one point wherein we cannot walk. Just like it is true that you are poor today. That is a fact that you must accept. That is your belief today. It's factual because it's the truth. But it can be changed. If you cannot walk today, you can walk. If you're poor today, you can be wealthy. It's just a question of changing that belief and moving towards an evolution of changes, undergoing the necessary changes that you would have to take. So VCon is all about cementing. We all come together to cement our beliefs. All of us, we have our own different goals in life that we want to achieve. And for us to do that, we must believe in it. And we must associate with people who believed in the same thing. Success is something we grow upon. But every day we are forced to make decisions. Every day we have to make decisions in our lives. We are challenged to make decisions. Some of us don't make decisions because we don't want to take responsibility, so somebody else would have to make it for us. And that's what makes us not responsible. But as we learn, as we grow, we start taking responsibilities. We start making decisions. And as leaders, we keep on having to make decisions and be responsible whether it's good or a bad decision we made. We learn from it. And this is what life is all about. Every minute we have to make decisions. Decisions that can totally change your life. Decisions that could totally make you suffer. Make your family suffer. Or make them wealthy or make them successful. You would never know. But what's important is that we must prepare ourselves for these major decisions that is to come. If I tell you today, tomorrow there's a very important decision that you have to make. But I'm not sure if you're ready for it. Because it's life-changing. And probably you'll just walk out in this room and not make that decision yourself. Because it's difficult. It's not because you don't like it, it's just that you don't have the muscles to carry it. So what I realize is this whole thing that we do, all the experiences that we have, all the decisions we make, is very much preparation for something bigger. It's always a preparation for something bigger. And what is that big decision we have to make? Is something that you have to uncover yourself. Being wealthy, being successful is a very difficult decision. It's not something lightly that you can take. Because it's all about taking leadership. In fact, that decision faces us every day. But we don't tend to take it. We make excuses. So in events like this is not about dancing, singing, cheering, I'm number one, cheering. Because all of this external enthusiasm is good. But it dies down fast. There's two types of motivation that you can have. One, externally and internally. I rather go for the internal one. Because the internal one keeps me going, wakes me up in the morning, makes me focus, and makes me firm in making the decision or having to go back to that decision I had to make 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, which I never made. In fact, decisions that you have to make today were facing you probably some 5, 10 years ago. But you're not ready for it. We have to be open. If you hear an opposing belief, listen to it. It could be another side of your belief. If there's an opposing belief, learn to embrace it. One thing I've learned in this company is that I was able to learn embracing oppositions. Oppositions are something that beliefs that are not in tune with what I believe. It's a very difficult thing, but it's a practice that we've learned through our association with each other. Because, hey, we live in the world of diversity. Every person sitting beside you has a totally different thinking, ideology, beliefs. But you need to connect with them somehow. You got to find ways of connecting to them so you can transfer in them that belief you saw that you can one day be free, be financially be free, that, you know, that explosion you saw when you first saw the opportunity. We used to call it like a bomb that explodes in your head because you could not sleep. It was not really the plan that you saw. It's something that excited you and you saw future. You saw a whole opportunity that was not there, that you thought you would never have in this lifetime, and it's right there in front of you, and you know you've accepted that, hey, this can be done. That belief, what brought you here in this room today. But see, that belief would not stay unless you cement it. You have to cement it. And the process of cementing is the openness of hearing everyone. Openness of hearing even oppositions. Learning to accept oppositions. Finding ways on how you can connect with them despite your opposing views. Because you got to accept you don't see your back. I realize I don't have eyes in my back. And I have to accept a friend who could tell me what's going on my back. If you're not unified with your thinking, with your mind, with your senses, with your belief, with what makes you as a person, then there's chaos inside. And that chaos appears in you. That chaos appears and people see it. That's why they become scared. They become scared. Like something you question yourself, like I remember before I would say, hey, I would not be the person I would invest on. There was a time I would not trust myself. If I'm sitting with someone like me, I would not invest money on that person. That's what I felt before. But see, I had to change that. So what is believing is all about really learning to invest in you, and it's a process that you do every day. Belief is something you have to take. The truth that you hear, the lessons that you hear, you have to take that. You cement, change what's not real anymore, what's not factual anymore. You have to make changes as you go along. And that is a process of learning. That's a process of leadership. And in the V, that's what we very much teach. Because making money is the process is very easy. The process is very easy. But what's important is bringing this person to a point where you are today. That's important. You take that person, your downline, to reach the point where you are today as a leader. And that is the art that we actually have to learn. Thank you very much.